Okay. That is looking in the light. And that one is over the place. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now we are going to welcome our friends on YouTube. After then, we're going to check on them on Facebook, and if we're able to find them, then we are going to start from there. Okay. Yep. I think you might need to move a little bit to the other side again. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Good. 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 Okay. Now, who is there? Somebody is there. Can you greet us so that we know who is there to see us, who is with us today? So, let's see who is going to greet us first on YouTube. Before we start officially, then let me know when we're on Facebook, everybody. Okay. All right. All right. So, is anybody greeting us on YouTube? When are you coming to Kyiv, Gift? You don't know? When are you coming to Kyiv?
I don't know for now.
Okay. If you try to remove the handpiece from the computer, the headpiece from the computer, let's try and see. Maybe it will not make noise.
Okay, mine?
Yeah.
Okay, my phone, I won't be able to hear you without the earpiece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just remove it and put it. I just want to test something.
Okay.
You removed it now. And you put it down. Is it put back? It's not affecting it. Okay, it's okay. You can use it. So who do we have there on YouTube and Facebook? Is Facebook on? Is YouTube? Okay, we are on Facebook, I guess. So who do we have on? Why is nobody greeting us on YouTube? I see people there, but they're not greeting us yet. Okay, let me go and greet the people then on Facebook. Okay, hello Facebook family. Who do we have there on Facebook? Okay, we have Matondo, Francisca, Jane Jones, Monday, Clemsy Clement is here. I could guess as much. Jide Balogo is here. JD. Okay. Babi Shaye Victor. Esther Bobga. Okay. Michael Allo. Udo. Well, welcome everybody. Nice to see all of you. Please go and share the message. Go and share the link and share the message. Go and tag one or two people, and let's welcome as many people as we can today. It's going to be an exciting program. We have a star in the house. The lady we have today, she's a musical star, but a very, very gifted. I mean, and that happens to be a gift, Topsy gift. That happens to be a name. So she's very talented, very gifted, but that is actually a name. So sometimes our parents do give us prophetic, they name us prophetically. Somehow, for some reasons, it worked out very well for Topsy. Before we talk about what you are doing now and your stardom, I know you come from a humble beginning, just like myself. I tell my story all the time of growing up in Idomila village, and in a village of about 40 houses, and and how I came from there to become who I am. So I know that you also come from a very humble background like me. Maybe not as bad as mine, but I would like you to start with that. Tell us about your beginning. Hello, Topsy.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening, sir. And good evening, everyone in the house, and good evening, all the Facebook fans. Before I talk about my background, I want to first of all acknowledge this privilege you've given to me. I want to say I'm grateful. God bless you so much. And I believe that I pray that somebody would learn something from what we have to say today. Okay.
Amen.
So talking about my background, my family, it's a whole lot of story that I can talk about it from now till tomorrow. It's like it's not coming to an end.
Wow.
Because I've gone through a whole lot in life, but I thank God that I'm still alive to talk about the story and to encourage people who are going through it and people who will go through it in the future. So I come from a family of 9, plus my father, my mother, and 6 siblings. And I'm from Imo State, Nigeria, Oru local government precisely. But we're all born and brought up in the northern part of Nigeria, which is Katsina State, Daura local government. That was where we're all born. But as a day when we're pretty kids,
so you didn't grow up in the East?
No.
Because I was just about to ask you, how come you don't have Igbo accent?
Right, but it took a lot of time for us to even understand Igbo language, because my grandmother had to flog us all the time and then had to force us to speak the language, because my parents at then weren't interested in teaching us the language. But later they started teaching us because of the pressure from my grandma.
Yeah, because you are just like middle bed Nigerian, like just like nobody can tell where you are coming from. You could be from any part of Nigeria, unless you mention your native name.
Okay, yeah, it's true. So, okay, so that was how we lived in Katsina State. My parents stayed there for close to 30 years of their life, and
Katsina.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Katsina State.
That is the top north. That
Yes,
is the
sir.
real north.
Yeah. So by then, my father was working with an oil company called Total. And then he had so many boys working with him. He had so much money at his disposal.
Yes, Total was one of the biggest oil companies in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he didn't understand the laws of money and how to invest and how to save. So he was just having fun. So even though we had food at the house and we have shelter over our head, but we could hardly see our father. He comes home maybe once in a week. Sometimes we see him twice in a week, and we really don't understand where he goes to.
And where was he going to?
I don't know. I don't know. Every time my mother wants to ask him, it's like he's not ready to, he wants to bring up a fight, so she just let it go. It's like, woman, what do you want to have?
But if he was not at home, he was never at home and never coming home, how come you were able to give birth to at 11 children?
he wanted to give birth to like even 20, and my mother refused. So we were 9, but we lost 2 of them, 2 boys. So we're just like 7 children right now. So that's how we were living. My mother, what he does is just make sure that there's food in the house
and make sure the mother is pregnant.
Yes. And then he disappears. and perhaps so he would just come once in a while to just check on us, and then he goes away.
And he doesn't have any children apart from you people aside.
We never got to know if he had a wife out there or about kids. He didn't tell anybody, and no, till today nobody has shown up to say, I'm your father's concubine or wife or whatever. Nobody has shown up, but we still don't understand his life. So I didn't really get to have father relationship because he wasn't there. So that aspect was actually lacking. We needed a father, but we couldn't really see our father. So it was kind of painful, but we endured until it got worse when we actually got to Abuja. But what took us to Abuja was the Sharia crisis that happened in the northern part of Nigeria. So Muslims were killing Christians, and they were like, you have to change to our religion, you have to dress like us and all that. So as at then, my mother was already born again. She had given her life to Christ, and she usually take us to church and assemblies. So my mother was like, God forbid, over her dead body. So we suffered. Even during the crisis, we still don't see our father, funny enough. So we usually go to Army Barrack every 4 a.m. in the morning. My mother would carry all of us, and we go to Army Barrack to stay
without a husband?
Without my father. So we stay hungry, no food, because they go about burning houses.
Maybe he died. Maybe they killed him somewhere.
He didn't die. My father is still alive till now. He didn't die. So it was just like a dream. One night he met us when my mother was just packing some things in order to take us.
Thank God for mothers. Thank God for mothers. Oh.
That woman is just a blessing to us. Seriously, she was a father and a mother at the same time. So that was how we usually escape for our lives, because they'll come to your house and they ask you, are you a Christian or a Muslim? If you're a Christian, they kill you, burn you people to ashes and burn your buildings. So my father's fleet of cars were all burned to ashes. So we lost everything we had as at that time. So everybody was just running head to skelter, trying to just save their head. That was what happened. So one day we just bumped into our father. One of the early morning, we were trying to escape to Army Barrack. And he was like, oh, that he has been busy. Also, he's also hiding wherever he was and all that. So that he wants to go to Abuja to look for a place for us. So when he gets the place, he will then come and take us to Abuja.
And that is one good thing with Igbo men. They can talk. They will talk themselves out of any situation. He will give explanation. You will even pity himself.
My mother didn't say anything. She agreed. Okay, no problem. Go. You are the man of the house. Go and look for the place. And then he left. We didn't see him. We stayed for weeks, for months. This crisis was still going on. You could practically see people's head, hand, part of body splitted all over the streets. People were scared. There was no market, no food, no school, no nothing. So the people were really terrified. So there was nothing we could do. The only savior we had was that the boys he picked on the streets, that he actually made them to become somebody, were the two boys who came to our rescue, who said to us that they want to help us, that my father has helped them. When everybody rejected them, nobody wanted to help them. And my father picked them from the street and make them who they are today. So they want to reciprocate that same kindness to us. Even though they were Muslims, we had to just believe that they want to help us, because anything can happen. But my mother said that we are covered, that God is with us, that we should just agree. So in the middle of the night, they took us, put us in a very big trailer of carrying bags of onions. This heavy, I don't know, those days when you have these big bags of rice, those are the kind of bags that they put the big bags of onions, because what those guys started doing is that they started transporting onions from one state to another. So they put us in the middle of this big bus carrying bags of onions, and you could literally feel bags of onions on our shoulders and our head as little kids. So we didn't know we were even going to survive it, because there was no air from anywhere. In order for us to escape the war, because they blocked all the borders, nobody's coming in, nobody's moving out. They wanted to make sure they killed all the Christians, that were living in Katsina State then. So, but we took the risk. Several times we were stopped on the street, and they said, bring down those bags of onions. We want to be sure that nobody is inside. And my mother was panting, and all of us would be so afraid. And this woman was carrying little baby.
Were you people understanding Hausa?
Yes, we understand Hausa very well. And this woman was still breastfeeding. She was carrying a little baby. And all of us were all inside that bag of onions, that big truck. And we were all suffocating. I didn't even believe that my younger sister was going to survive that situation, because there's no food, there's no water, nothing. And here we are running for our lives.
8 of you with your mother.
Yeah, 7 of us with our mother. So that was
7 plus her 8.
Yeah, plus her 8, yes, sir. So plus her 8. So that was several times we were stopped, and they said in Hausa language, bring down the stores, and we want to check the car to be sure that there are no persons inside. And my younger sister would want to make a sound. My mother would close her mouth, and they would start bringing down the bags of onions. After some time, because the bags of onions are really heavy, so they would say, Oga, these bags of onions are too heavy. We don't think we can finish carrying them today, because they hid us inside. So for you to be able to bring out the onions, you really have to go through a lot. So the
boys were with you?
Sir?
Those two Hausa boys who saved your life, they were with you?
Yeah, one of them was on top of the bag of onions, and one was the driver.
Okay.
So they were the ones convincing the people that there are we are also Muslims. We won't lie to you. There are nobody here. We are only traders. We want to transport these onions to Abuja to go and sell, to make a living. That please, we need to survive, hunger everywhere and all that. So they allowed them to pass because we were Muslims. So that was how we passed. First, second, and some other group of boys. They did the same thing, and eventually, we thank God, we escaped. We got to Abuja. Our necks, we couldn't raise our necks like this for close to an hour, because we were like this for a journey of how many hours? Oh, Jesus. And we just thank God.
So God really preserved your life. That you are here is a miracle.
It's really, really a miracle. It's really, really a miracle. We didn't hear from our father. There was no information. There was no nothing. So
I thought he went to prepare a place for you in Abuja. I thought you were going to meet with him.
That was what he said. That was what he told us. But we didn't get to see my father. So my mother couldn't, continue hiding and running. We just had to accept that little offer made by those 2 young boys.
But where were you going to in Abuja, though?
We had no idea. We didn't know if we were going to live on the bridge. We didn't know if we were just going to walk on the street begging. No, we had no idea of where to stay in Abuja. So I don't know. But I know my mother then, when she used to attend Assemblies of God Church in Katsina State, there was this family, Daddy Amusa, who they were then staying in Abuja, and they had their company in Katsina State. So when they burnt their company, so they just remained in Abuja. But we didn't have, there was no telephone, there was no way to even communicate to them to say, oh, this is where we are, can you come and pick us and all that. So
were they not that they are Musa, were they not than us?
No, they were not. They were Christians. They were also attending assemblies of God. That's how my mother got to know them. So now I don't know how my mother, when those boys dropped us, they say, madam, we are in Abuja, and we were like, wow, we didn't know how to thank them. Even today, if I see those men, I don't think I will remember their face because we were very small. We were really kids. So my mother knelt down, was thanking them, and they said, madam, don't worry. Thank God for your life. Just go home and give God praise. So that was how we started roaming the streets. We didn't know what to do. We started asking people, do you know this person? Have you heard this name before? I don't know.
What name? They are Musa?
Yes. That was how. Imagine the whole population of only God knows how many, and then you're asking somebody on the street, do you know this person? Is like, are you okay? No picture, no nothing. So I don't know. Also, I think we went to a church, I think Assemblies of God church. We started asking people, do you know this person? Do you know this person? And then somebody was like, oh, I think I know that man, I know that family. That was how they took us to their house. And they were so happy. They housed us, they gave us food, they gave us shelter. They were so excited that we made it. So they said, where is your husband? My mother said, my husband is still looking for a place for us to stay.
Are you the senior person in the family? Are you the senior?
No.
What number?
I'm just the third to the last born. My elder sister then, she couldn't even follow us to she couldn't follow us for the trip that time because it was just too risky. My mother said, at least if they slaughter all of us, let one person be alive. So she had to give my elder sister to one of my aunties, just in case any of us died, let somebody represent the family. So that was how she was so excited. We're like, our father is here in Abuja, but we don't know where he is. So eventually, they later located my father, and then the people actually gave him a driving job and said, oh, in order for you to take care of your family, take this car, become a driver to help your family. After some time, he drove that car. After some time, he started complaining, blah, 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 blah. He gave out the car, he didn't drive again. The people collected their car, and then we went to live in a bamboo house. It was not a block house. So that was how the suffering started. We started suffering. Everybody dropped out of school. There was nothing like school.
What was your dad doing?
He refused to even do anything.
He was living with you?
Yes, he refused to do anything. So what my mother couldn't take the load, the workload was too much for her. So we had to go into farming. We have to be farming in order to sell some of the products.
What was your mom doing before in Katsina?
In Katsina State, my father refused her to do anything.
She was not working?
Yeah, she wasn't working. He was like, you have food, you have everything you need, why would you work? So I just wanted to sit here and just take care of the children. So she wasn't doing anything. She wasn't just doing anything.
He was providing that time.
Yes.
But now he is the one who was not doing anything.
Yeah, he wasn't doing, and he wasn't ready to do anything. He wanted to just continue that life he used to live, the big man life that is no longer there. And he wasn't ready to face reality. He wasn't ready to face reality. So he abandoned everything. He was like, I can't do anything. I can't start from the scratch. So what are you going to do? How are we going to survive? He said he doesn't know, but he can't do anything. So in order for us to survive, we had to go into the farming, and that was how we started farming. We did a lot of things. We were selling stuff on the street without good clothes, without shoes. We were selling on the streets in order to help our mother make some money. For years, we weren't going to school.
You aren't going to school?
We weren't going to school. For years, we weren't going to school. There was no money to train. There was no money at home.
But
Even the free education.
How come you are speaking good English like this?
I got to learn from other people, because then I remember when they sent me to go sell something. After I finished selling a little, I would go to these government free schools, and then I would stay at the window and just be looking at what the teacher is teaching the student. Sometimes they chase me away and they say, "Oh, what are you doing here? You are not with the uniform. You are not our students," and all that. So I'll trek back home. I'll go tell my mother that I want to go to school. She'll say we should be with her little by little. We'll go to school. But
will it be possible for us to invite that woman here one time? I want to see her. Cry. Be free to cry. Don't be shy about it.
She'll be so glad. She'll be so glad to go. So that was how we sell. We would sell on the street for hours, not minding whether or not we even come back, because there are a lot of things that happen on the streets. But God still kept us alive until she was able to have a little money to register us in free government school, where they even pay very, less amount of money, but we couldn't all go at the same time. So we have to sacrifice for one person to go. After some years, another person joins. That's how we were able to gradually go to government school. And funny enough, even while we were going to the school, in the morning, as early as 3 a.m., we wake up and pound this thing they call fufu. They call it abu in Igbo. I'll go and supply it to restaurants early in the morning before I start trekking to school. Every time I'm always being flogged because I always come late to school. So one day my teacher was asking me, do I stay with my parents or I stay with my guardian? I told them I stay with my parents. But just that the suffering is too much, I can't watch my mother die. So I have to help her. So they didn't believe me until one of the days that the uncle grabbed me by the hand and said, I must go see your parents, I must go see whoever you're staying with. And I took him to my house. When he came and saw where we were staying, he couldn't hold his tears. And since then, he stopped flogging me. And I was never a dull student even while in school. To the extent that our teachers will see our result, even the principal, and he'll be wondering how we do. We do very well. I remember two of my sisters had parallel A's, that they were double promoted in school, even with the poverty. But we were all encouraging ourselves every day, telling ourselves that it's going to be well, everything is going to be fine. It's just for a minute. So while our father refused to help, we were still helping ourselves and helping our mother, knowing that one day everything will become a story. So when we eventually left secondary school, we started looking for admission. So I remember several times, my mother, even from her petty trade, she was able to make over 100,000 naira, and then my father started he accepted a driving job again from one man, and then at the time the man said, I want to sell the car, I think about 250,000, and he was like, if you're interested, you can buy my car.
My mother heard it and she was like, oh, such a great opportunity for us to have our own personal car, and you will be driving and you will be the owner. At least we'll be better than where we are. And she went ahead. When she was saving her little money, she gathered the money and gave to my father. I said, she called all of us and said, look at this money, I'm giving it to your father. Let him go and pay this money to this man so we can owe him at least 150,000. My father went to pay that money, and then we told the man, we'll gradually pay you the remaining. Eventually, that balance was paid. It was as if when my father then owned the car, the whole thing became worse. He was not even coming home all the time. He was not having too much money because in Abuja, you make a lot of money from driving. He was no longer even providing food. We were now wondering, why are you like this? Why do you hate your family so much? Why are you not a good father? Why are you not a good father? Why do you want this woman to die? But he wouldn't even listen to us. Several times I went to my father and I begged him for 4,000 naira to go and buy jam for. He refused. Immediately I left secondary school, I started working because I knew that if I don't, I am just going to keep suffering and nobody will care for me. So I had to, the very day I finished my WAEC was the day I got a job in a supermarket, and I started working as a sales girl in order to help my parents. So my father would tell us that he's not ready to train anybody in school, that anybody who wants to go to school should train themselves. And then I said, one day I asked him, I said, then why did you give birth to us if you know you're not going to cater for us, we know you're not ready to take care of us? He said that he just wanted to be among the people who have children. So that's why he had children. So if we're not ready, after
but
all,
you have 9 children, 9 children. If you just wanted to be among people who have children, then why having so many? Why not just have 1 or 2 to just be among those people who have children? But to go and have 9 children, 9 children, and then not take responsibility for them. I think this problem is all.
Even the 9 was too small for him. He wanted more. He wanted more children, and my mother refused. And that's how they keep.
So for him, children was like cherry, like apple, like fruit.
Yes. And there was a day he publicly told her that he wants 36 children. 1 will represent each state. I don't understand how one will represent each
He's just playing game.
Oh God, my father. I just know that I have it.
But we have a lot of those in Nigeria now, especially in the north. People giving back all the time. But in the south too, all over Nigeria, people are giving back, but they don't even think about responsibility. So this means we have to educate our country. We have to educate men and women. Sometimes it is women also who are to blame for it, isn't it? Or the women, or is it just the men problem?
It's the man that is the head of the family. Most times what he says is final. If not that my mother fought her way through, they would have still been having children till today. She refused. That we haven't even taken care of the one we have, and then you want more children. For you to have more children, you have to be ready to take on responsibility. So I'm not seeing you taking responsibility, so I won't be ready as well to give birth to any children. So they were always having problems with that issue. And
so what age did you finish secondary school? 17? At what age did you finish secondary school?
I finished secondary school at the age of, let's say 22 or so. I finished secondary school because of the whole thing. And then we started looking for admission with our corrupt Nigeria. And all the jams I wrote, I paid for, I have never gotten jam less than 200. I've never failed my post-UTME, but there was never admission for us.
You wanted to get admission for what?
I wanted them
What course? What degree?
Okay, I wanted to study economics.
Okay.
At first, I wanted to study mass communication because I used to watch people in the news. I just like the way they talk and the way they dress and all that. But I didn't get several times, so I had to change because again, also I used to like economics in school. So I wasn't getting. There was no admission. The last jam I wrote in my state, Imo State, I got a second best student, second best highest student, but I never got admission.
In JAM?
No, in Positiemi.
What is that?
Positiemi is like after you finish writing JAM, you go to the state where you register for that, the state where you want to study, the school, you write another exam in the school. So we're over 5,000 candidates who came to write that exam. And I got...
What state was this?
Imo State.
And you were the second best?
Second best student, internet. But there was no admission. My name was omitted. First list came out, second list, third list. I was crying. Nothing. There was no admission. They just keep selling your result. It's like you're working and somebody is taking your result and selling to the rich. So I cried and I said, I won't write JAM again in my life. I won't. It seemed like God doesn't want me to go to school. So I was tired because all the money I make from the sales girl, I go put it in, you buy JAM form for 4,000 naira, you do thumb printing registration for 2,000. How much do they pay you? The highest a sales girl can receive will be 15,000. So at the end of the day, I transferred to the state where I would write the exam and all that. Before you know, your 15,000 is gone. And they are still denied of admission. So I keep suffering like that.
At what point did your talent, at what point did you discover, or did they discover you as a talent?
Okay, that when I was growing up as a child, I always have a dream where I see myself singing, but I don't understand what it meant. I was like, why should I always be singing on the stage? I keep telling my mother, because every time she calls me pastor, my mother, every time we want to pray in the morning after, she will tell me to pray. I'll be like, why are you always telling me to pray? She said that there's something she sees in me and she sees connection of pastor. I said, I will never marry a pastor, God forbid. I keep rejecting it. So I said, I won't be a pastor. The pastors are always suffering and all that. So she was, and so I kept telling her that I always see myself singing in the dream. And in a very big stage of mixed with both black and white people, very mighty stage, but she don't understand what I meant. It was after I came to Ukraine and I was repatriated, I went, I cried, I was like, God, at the edge of my victory, again, another issue.
And somebody, were they not telling you in Nigeria that, because there is something they call it, there is this Toyin in London, Sister Toyin, she's famous now. She told the story that whenever you are at the verge of success, and it's aborted, that there's something they call, there is a
near success syndrome.
Yeah. So they have a name for it in Nigeria.
Yeah,
Nigerian
they have a name for it.
Near success syndrome. Yes. NSR.
D.
NSR.
Okay.
Near success syndrome.
Yes, syndrome.
S. N. NSS. NSS. Near success syndrome. And they said it's a spirit.
Yeah, they said it's a spirit.
Even though there is something like that, near success syndrome, but it is. Why should they call it a spirit?
I don't know, because mine wasn't just a spirit.
So when you got back, when you were repatriated from Ukraine, yes, I hope you didn't meet any pastor that came to tell you that it is near success syndrome.
What even happened is that they did not even believe that I came to Ukraine. They all said it's a lie that a poor child can never travel abroad because they all knew that I came from a poor home. So none of them believed anything that had to do with abroad. It was even after my wedding, when they saw your picture, that's when they believed that I'm in Ukraine. they didn't believe that I even went to Ukraine and was repatriated. None of them believed anything.
No, but what about the church, the people in church, the Christians?
It's the people in church I'm talking about. The people in church, they didn't believe any of my stories because they say I'm from a poor home. So how would they even? Where do I even start? You know how much it costs to school abroad, and all that. They didn't believe any of my stories at all. They started believing when they saw the wedding picture and your picture. They knew that you're not in Nigeria. So how come your picture is there and you're the one who joined us? So they just had to believe that, wow, this is actually true.
Now I want to talk to your mom because now I know her story, but I'm going to give her two choices. I'm going to talk to her maybe by the anniversary in Ukraine. Our anniversary will be in April, after winter. I'm going to give her two choices. Would she like to come to Ukraine, or she would rather I give her the money? Maybe she would like to use, maybe she has a need, or she wants to use the money to take care of maybe your siblings. Do you still have junior ones?
Yes, I still have. Yes, I have. My last one is still not in school yet. I have a brother, just one brother, and one other with my sister. They both school in Ekiti State University. So
how are they? How is your daddy paying now?
Till today, not one kupe, no one naira comes from my father's pocket. It's not. Oh Jesus. Hey.
But is your mother having a better place now? I hope she's no more living in that bamboo house.
The house right now, it's not really different from the bamboo house. The only thing, the difference is just the block. But the suffering is still there because there's no help from anywhere. So we're just still struggling. In fact, some of my brother and my sister that are in school, they will always tell me, I need money for this, I need money. They thought also work. I told them, I'm also a student. Don't worry, when I get money, I'll send to you guys. But it's going to be fine. So even them that are in school, they are the one trying to also, because once there is holiday, either my sisters they come back and try to hustle for money in order for them to pay fee for handouts and pay rent and all that. My father today is not ready to do anything.
Okay, what about your talent? But you started singing in Nigeria. I even saw a video clip of you.
Yes, sir. So it was when I came back, when they repatriated me, I came back. I cried and all that. So my husband had to encourage me to, why don't I do my songs? Because I started writing songs when I was in Nigeria. But I wasn't ready to go into music because I really didn't see myself doing music, even though I used to see it as a dream. So I didn't believe it was my calling or purpose. I think I was even telling God that I don't think I can do music because I'm not very perfect in this music thing. A lot of people are perfect. Why don't you call them? So he was one who kept encouraging me, and so why don't you give it a try? So I said, okay. So the little money that remained when I came back from Ukraine, I had to go to the studio and we did the first track. It was impressive, and people were like, wow, this song is great. They started inviting me to different churches to do the song. I was like, wow, God, I never knew this was actually.
I also invited another girl yesterday to come and sing on Monday. And they sent her back at the airport too.
Hey, Jesus.
You know what that means, right? Very depressing.
Jesus. I know what that means, sir. Very good. It's terrible. It's really terrible.
It's so painful, huh?
It's so painful. Mine was like, I was so cold as well. They put us in one place like that. So I was the only girl in that place. Every other person were male, and I was the only African as well.
Ooh.
I was the only girl. I was the only African. Everybody was white, different countries. You ask them, do you speak English? No, they don't even speak English. So there was nothing. There's no way I could communicate. I was shivering. I was so cold.
people who came to receive me at the airport, they were with the winter jacket, the jacket to give to me, because then it was during spring I came. Because I have not experienced that kind of cold, even though it was spring. They refused them from giving. I said, I just need a jacket. They refused. So I was in that cold till the next day before they took me back. So all my ribs, I didn't believe I was even going to stay alive. All my ribs, in an iron seat again. There was nothing like sleep. It's terrible. So terrible. It was so terrible. Good.
People are asking, where are you calling from now? If they repatriated you from Ukraine, where are you calling from? People are asking.
I'm actually in Topsy, Ukraine, but I came back after they repatriated me. I came back the next year, and it was through your help, sir, that I'm here today. I already lost hope that I was going to ever come back to Ukraine, because the money we spent, some of them were borrowed. My mother borrowed a lot of money from people, hoping that she would pay back. And then I was repatriated. So the whole thing is like, where do we start from?
Double sorrow.
Where do we start from? So I didn't tell my mother for months. For me, when I got to Nigeria, I had to go to my husband's place, my in-law. I had to go from the airport. I didn't even let anybody know that I was in Nigeria, because I know if my mother here, she will collapse. So I don't want to give her a heart attack. I have to just hide myself and pretend I was in Ukraine. So she was still there, being happy that I'm in Ukraine and all that. They were busy calling my husband, like, how was the trip? How is she doing? Can we talk to her? He was like, oh, she's fine, but I'm not in connection with her, so you can't talk to her. And they know I don't have a Ukrainian number, so there was no way they could talk to me. So everything I did was just secretive, just because of my mother. I just wanted her to stay strong. So it took me months. I stayed there for 6 months in Delta State. I even got a school, started teaching in a school.
Got a job.
Got a job because I can't stay at home. I got a job, started teaching. But my mother was still thinking I was in Ukraine. But she didn't know I was Nigerian. So it was later I came to Abuja, but I didn't go straight to my house. So I left my luggage in a friend's house. Then I came to the house. So they were so excited that that is Ukraine. Why did I come back? That who will give me money for flights to go back? I was just saying God will provide everything, just made them feel cool, feel relaxed. Then 2 days later, I called my mom outside and I told her that this thing I'm about to tell you, I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to feel worried, because we had already started the process, because God had already used you to send us some financial assistance. We had started some processes all over again. So that was like a hope given to her again. So she couldn't faint, she couldn't collapse, she couldn't hold it. But I told her that we already started. See where I've gotten to. I've gone to, do some of the papers all over again, that she shouldn't worry, everything will be fine. So that was how she relaxed. Because I don't know how to tell her that bad news. She was going to die. I know my mother, she won't be able to hold it.
Because it was going to be hopelessness, total hopelessness.
And she won't be able to hold it. So that was how.
But some people are saying right now that they are thankful for your story, that they are thanking you for telling this story, because some of them are saying you are ministering to them right now, that this your story is ministering to their own situation.
Oh God, the sufferness, the things we've gone through, it's easier when you are saying it than experience, because Jesus, I just don't know how to. I remember it was your messages that really even geared me into talking about my life story on Facebook. Because on my YouTube channel, I had to go do a live video on Facebook about my life story, and people were really blessed.
What is your YouTube page? I mean Facebook page.
Facebook is Topsy Gift.
Topsy Gift.
Yeah, Topsy. Yeah.
Topsy.
Yes, sir.
Gift.
Yes, sir. So, and people are so.
But some people want to get in touch with you, but they can write you inbox you on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Topsy Gift.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, that's a lot, and it's just been good all the while. When my husband told me that Dr. Sandey Adelaja wanted to come to Ukraine, I was like, it's a lie. I was screaming. I say it's a lie. It's a lie. God, it's a lie. I was crying on phone. He was like, calm down. I said, you don't understand. I already lost hope that I was going to return to Ukraine because the money we spent was something I can't imagine getting even in 1 year, even in 5 years. I don't know how the kind of work that will give us that kind of money again. So I was like, don't worry. I think God doesn't even want me to go to school because I've tried Nigeria, it's not working. I've tried Ukraine, it's not working. It didn't work. So I've just given up on life until you brought back hope. You brought back hope to us. And my mother was so happy. Every time she prayed for you, she prayed for your family.
She was calling me. I was what did I do? She was calling me here in Ukraine to say thank you. In fact, I had to tell your husband, please tell her not to call me again. What did I do?
She was more than grateful. She didn't know how to express it. She didn't know how to say it.
So because what it means to me is that people are not used to other people helping them too much like that. Because she was so grateful. She was kneeling down, praying for me, as if I gave her life. I said, this little thing.
You gave her more than life, sir. You gave us more than life. You gave us more than life. Because in Nigeria, for you to get help, not even your church will give you. Not even your church will give you a dime. If you want, be a faithful tither, be a faithful church attendant, you will never get help anywhere. You keep writing letters. They made me write letters upon letters, but we never got anything from any help.
Somebody is asking for our Facebook name. Yes, our Facebook name is Topsy Gift. Somebody just wrote it for you now. Topsy Gift. Yes. So now, if things are so bad like this, it means that Christians are not being Christians, because Christian nature is love, compassion, love, empathy. That's supposed to be the nature of Christians.
They only preach love, but they don't practice. They only preach love. It was through you I saw true Christianity, true love being expressed, true relationship with God. I saw so much so different. I was like, are pastors like this? Can Christians be like this? Is it that this person is just God in person? Or
I hear that a lot. People say this is Jesus Christ in the flesh.
Sometimes I used to tell my husband, I don't think pastor is human. I think pastor is not from this earth. I think he's from.
I hear that almost every day.
I'm telling you, you are just.
Topsy, somebody is saying you have many Topsy gifts. Which one is your own? With the photograph or what? What is the photograph?
My photograph is there. Me and my husband's photograph.
Two of you.
Yes.
On the what do you call it? The wedding picture.
Yeah, the traditional wedding picture is there.
Okay. That's the one they will see.
Yeah, they will see.
Okay.
So you
So what do you mean that it is when you got me now that you discover what is Christianity? What do you mean? But you are going to church. You are singing even in church, right?
I was singing in church for years. I was always leading praise and worship in church, but I didn't see real love. I didn't see it. I just felt that Christianity is all or being a Christian or being able to be accepted by God is when you go to church all the time, you give your tithe, you give your offering, you know. But when it comes to showing love, the real love that Christ preached, it's
So
not
the
been practiced.
Christianity you know is the one that just takes from people, that milking people.
Sow seed of faith, do these, all kinds of demonic prayers.
So what is the difference between that Christianity and the one you came to find here in Ukraine now?
I found practical Christianity here. I found true Christianity that shows true love, that that brings out the other side of God, that God is not limited. It brings out reality. It teaches you purpose. It teaches you, time, how that walk and time is so important to God and to man. I was like, wait, who tells you this? Who teaches you about purpose, about time, about... No, we read in the manual, just a prepared manual. We read manual of love, we teach manual in Sunday school, and it's just love. But there's no true love. In pastors, you see pastors hating pastors, members hating members. There's nothing like love. People want to get something from you before they give you something. People don't really give because it is it is commanded of us to give by God. They don't give from a pure heart. There's this hypocrisy. There's this atmosphere of hypocrisy that people want to give for show off, so others can praise them just in the public. But when it comes to private, they don't want to associate with you giving you even a dime in the private without taking advantage of you. So even right in the church. So there's just a lot of things happening in church. I was like, God, what is happening? Because even till today, Assemblies of God have parted ways. There are now two kinds of faction of assemblies, the new and the old. What are they fighting for? Money. If there is love, why would people be shooting tear gas? Several times in my church, the soldier men came with tear gas, and people ran out from windows and doors on Sunday morning. And then you stand to preach love and forgiveness. I don't understand what you're preaching. So it's all about our money. They just want to gather crowd to collect money and and call us church members.
But even though you are serving in the church, you are singing, you are serving.
I was serving, I was singing.
And they couldn't help you with this ticket, with jump, with all these things?
Nothing.
With 1,000 naira jump form?
Oh, Jesus.
And you are praise and worship leader?
Praise and worship, I don't just do praise and worship. I give first fruits. Every first day of the month, as I receive my salary, I give us first fruit. Everything, I don't move a dime. Because we were made to know that when you give your first fruit, God is going to bless you all through the year. So I had to trek to the office. I had to starve myself all through the month just so I can be able to maintain in order to get another salary. I give everything without taking a dime from it.
Even though you yourself didn't have anything to use for?
We didn't have anything, but we believe in giving. We believe in sowing. We believe in tithing.
Because they have brainwashed all of you. Because you are not supposed to be giving from what you don't have.
Yeah.
You are not supposed to be giving when you yourself cannot provide for yourself. The Bible says anything you want to give, it is accepted only when you can give, or you are giving from what you have, not from what you don't have.
We are meant to know that. In fact, they even check your tithe record if you are faithful or not faithful. If you are not faithful, they will announce it on the altar to disgrace you, to make everybody feel that you are not a true Christian. They call out your name publicly on the altar. that you're not paying tithes. So in order for you to feel among or to make them feel that, okay, I'm a good Christian or I'm faithful, you still have to pay the tithe. I never knew that people were not really being here, because I saw some ladies left the church, and I asked them, why is that you don't come to church anymore? They say, that one at church. They only care about their pocket, they don't care about your circumstances. I didn't understand what they meant until it got to my own turn. When I needed help, they will ask you, let us pray. Let us pray? How can somebody be hungry and you're asking the person, let us pray, when you have food to give the person? So I was like, God, so this is what is really going on in church here. People give everything they have, because our church is like every day, from Monday to Sunday we're in church. On Monday we have prayer meeting. On Tuesday we have Tuesday Bible study. On Wednesday we have meeting. There's another kind of meeting. On Thursday we have departmental meeting. On Friday we have preparatory class that we teach on Sunday, because I was a secretary in my own class. So sometimes I teach Sunday school.
This is Assemblies of God, eh?
Yes. So on Friday is preparatory class. On Saturday is choir rehearsal. On Sunday is church. So,
and almost all the churches in Nigeria are like that.
The same activity. And when we come for departmental meeting, you give offering. When we come for every meeting, you give offering. You just know that you have to give offering. It's normal. So you trek. Sometimes we give offering and trek home, and we say God will understand. God will bless us. He sees our hearts. We didn't understand. We didn't know what we're doing. But so at a point in my life, I started asking myself some questions like, all these things, do they really matter? Does it mean if we don't do this thing, we're not Christians, we're not born again, we're not righteous? So I started condemning some of the things, some of the practices that happen in church. I became a bad member. I became a bad person. Even in my house, because we're all brainwashed, my sisters, they will say, you are backslided, or you are going to hellfire, since you are condemning pastors and their messages. I said, I don't know, but I think something is wrong. Because I've been sowing seed of faith and giving first fruit and tithe. Nothing is changing. How can you say, is it that God is blind or he's deaf?
I want to ask you, I want to take you to another dimension of your life. I remember, I would like to ask you how your life changed when you came to Ukraine. Let me tell you a few about my own story. When I was in Nigeria, I'd never even gone to Lagos. I've never even seen Lagos before, talk less of Abuja. I never saw Abuja till I left Nigeria. And Lagos, I only saw Lagos on my way. I saw Lagos one day. I saw so many roads. In fact, I thought there would never be a country or a city more developed than Lagos. Because compared to my village, it was like I got to heaven immediately. So, but I know that I'm going abroad. They said abroad is still better. So, how did my life change abroad? My first 2 months abroad, in fact, first 2 years, I always feel as if I am dreaming or as if I am walking on the air. Whether it's cold or winter or everything, I don't care. That is why when they said I was not going to study language, I determined to go to the library 6 hours a day after school. Even that kind of, everybody was thinking I was crazy. That's cool. After school, go and rest or go and do something. I was in the library. For me, that is, they were thinking I was suffering. I said, that is not suffering. In fact, even that 6 hours in the library after class was still enjoyment for me. Because at least the class is, rug in the library. Rug that I never saw in my house before I left the country. Rug. The place is cold, as if it's aircon. I say aircon, in the library. Aircon that I never saw. Only one time in the car. So I don't know how if it's like they rescued me from hell. That is how my own was. So I want to hear your own story, because since we are coming from the same poor background.
Yes.
I was even thinking that when I come to Ukraine, it will be a street of gold. I don't think people will be walking on land. Maybe just air. I wasn't expecting to see anything less. I was like, wow, Europe. I'm going to Europe. Starting from the time I got into the plane, I've never entered plane all my life. And when the plane started going on, I was like, God, as if the thing was shaking like that. I was like, God, it's like we're going to crash, like something is not right. And people that
everybody that entered plane first time always felt like that.
People that were in the plane knew that I was a Jew girl. They knew that I was a newcomer. I've not entered plane before. Even the food they gave me, I couldn't eat because I didn't understand what they gave me. So I was just being
I too, I couldn't eat the food they gave me. But the other person who was near me, the person has been traveling before. And when I said I couldn't eat, he said, don't give them back, or give me. So I gave him, he ate.
They collected my own too. The person sitting close to me collected my own. They ate. I was like, how do you enjoy what you're eating? I don't think that is food. Well, that is not food to me. So I couldn't eat anything. I only drank water. And even the water was tasting different. I said, no, this is not water. There's something in this water. I was, wow, this water is sweet. For the first time, they say water is tasteless. Well, this one is tasty.
That's the kind of feeling I was feeling too.
It was so nice. I was so excited. This is the kind of water I'll be drinking. There is life in this place. So when I got to the airport,
because the water in Nigeria is not always as processed. That's why it's tasteless like that.
Water is not good, not very good at all. So when I got to the airport, wow, Jesus, I was so excited. Like, God, see the floor. I was even trying to see myself in
like a mirror.
Like a mirror, it was shining. I was like, God, see how this floor is. I was so excited. I was just looking around. Hey, passenger, you can go. I was like, yes, I'm going. I'm just so excited. So when they finished checking my documents and I came out, I was like, wow, so I'm in Europe. I was so happy. I was like, God, I made it finally. I was so happy. And then I didn't even struggle. I got into a car. That came to pick me from the airport. The school authorities sent their people to come pick me. So they drove me all the way to school. I was just feeling like a celebrity. I was just sitting at the back of the car. So
yeah, because especially remembering the past. Because in my own time, when they were picking me like that, I was remembering where I was coming from.
Jesus. I was like, so I'm not going to be seeing those things I see in Nigeria. Poverty, suffering, smoke. We were cooking with firewood. There was nothing like electric, gas, gas cooker and all that. So it was with firewood, to the extent that I started having a chest problem. When I went to the hospital, they asked me, do I smoke? I said, I don't smoke. They said because they saw a smoke on my chest because of the constant inhaling of the firewood smoke. So
that is my own too. When I was in the village too, we were only cooking with firewood. But in my own case, it was not the lung, but smoke entered my eyes. My eyes were always red, as if I was using agbo or what do you call it?
Weed.
Weed. As if I was using weed. And my eyes were, in fact, I never believed that. At a point, I had agreed. Before 19, I left Nigeria at 19. But by 19, I had given up that I would not be blind. I knew I was going to be blind by 20. If I had continued that lifestyle, I would have been blind. In fact, I had assumed that by 20, in fact, I thought I was already blind. But when I left the country, and because my eyes were already messed up, I discovered that I was not blind, and my eyes are still seeing now. I'm still, up to now, I can't forget it. I'm still surprised.
So So that was how, even when I came to Tenopil, when we came to do X-ray, when they did me X-ray, they said, do I cough? I said, I don't cough. They said there's a smoke in my chest because, for you to stay in the hostel, they have to do you a proper medical checkup for you to be sure that your health sound. And if any problem, they report back to your school. So they delayed me in that hospital to be sure that I don't have TB. To be sure I don't have TB. So they noticed I don't cough. But they were wondering why I have smoke in my chest. But I knew it was from Nigeria. That thing happened. So later they let me go. But
you see now why I have to go back to Nigeria. I have not. I will not live on this earth. It will be as if I have not lived on this earth. Despite everything I have done, it's like I've not lived. Talk less of doing anything. I've not done anything until I go back.
Oh Jesus!
I have to go back to change the lives of my people like this, people like you, people like this. I've got to go back. If I don't go back, it will be as if I've not lived at all. I must go back, and our people must stop living like this. You know what? I'm going to give my best for it. I'm going to give my all. All those things of using firewood and things like that, I'm going to do my best that in our lifetime it will stop. We will not. Nobody will have to be doing that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't know what my life would have become if I had continued cooking with firewood for the next 10 years. I don't know, maybe I would have developed a sickness. Because for them to say they see smoke, several hospitals we went, they said there's smoke on my chest. And they said I shouldn't stay close to smoke or around people who smoke. That there's smoke on my chest. And because of that, I always have chest pain. I always feel chest pain.
I don't know what is happening. I'm always surprised why we have so many Nigerians who are abroad, and everybody they just want to make a living. They just want to make their life, take care of their life, of their families. But I cannot forgive myself if I die and I don't change that Africa, especially Nigeria. It has to change before I die, because that's my own challenge. That's my lifetime challenge right now. Or maybe it's because God has given me the body, or not what, I don't know. But I just wonder how anybody could just leave further after. But don't worry, I don't care how anybody thinks, but we are going to change it. But I want to ask you another thing. Now, it's not just you from whatever problem you have and all this, despite all your problems, I see that you are now the one ministering to all other people, even people who come from better background. Tell me about your life in Ukraine and what you have been doing in ministry and helping other students.
Okay, so when I came to Ukraine, you took me and kept me in your house. You fed me, and I felt so much like I was with my family. I never felt any different. And before I came to Ukraine, I've heard people talk about there's this great man of God that is in Ukraine, that God has used so much to transform life, transform Ukraine. He has the largest church in Europe. I was like, wow, I can't wait to meet this man of God. Even though later some people try to deceive me and say, I don't listen to you, you might not be a real man of God. I know that I say I will see for myself. But when I came, I was just observing. And I think that was a period you started your teaching. So we usually come to the table and listen to you teach. Wow. The first day I heard you teach, hey God, I was like, what? Who is this man? When I got to the room, I was asking my husband, who is this man? This man, Jesus, this man, the whole world needs to hear this. Nigeria needs to hear this. I was just thinking about my church, where I'm coming from, the messages I've been fed. I was like, everything is just not just
the way I've been questioning things, God is just using it to answer those questions. So I was thinking I was abnormal. I was thinking I wasn't normal. But listening to you talk, listening to you teach, your messages they're just revolutionary. They're just mind-blowing. I was like, God, thank you for bringing me here. It's like, what else could I say? How else can I be thankful? How else can I be grateful? Could there be men of God who are true, who are sincere, to telling people the truth? I was so amazed. So I couldn't stop watching. Every day, we always, come down to watch. Even when we finished the registration, I went to my school. I kept watching. I couldn't stop. Sometimes at home, I had to stand to watch you. I had to stand. I would be screaming. I said, Jesus, 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 this is so true. This is so true. I would be screaming. I said, God, thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for this privilege. Thank you for opening my eyes. Thank you for connecting me to the right people. I was so blessed. So out of this burning passion and truth that I heard from you, then my husband started an academy called Heroes Academy, where on Sundays, apart from the normal church messages, we give an hour to teaching your messages. To pick one of your messages and teach the church members. So because of that, we started having atheists come to listen, because this messages applies to everyone.
Yes.
So they started coming to listen. I was like, wow, this vision, I had to take it, to Tenopi, because they transferred me from, I transferred from Kiev to Tenopi. I wanted to stay in Ivano, but they didn't have my course in English medium. So I had to transfer to Tenopi. So in Tenopi, the messages were just so powerful that I started, the very week I came to school, I started thinking of how to gather people, to start talking to them, teaching them the messages. So until March, I was like, okay, no, I can't procrastinate anymore. People need to hear the truth. So I invited 1, 2, 3 persons. And the first time, just 2 persons showed up. And we taught, I taught them the topic on purpose, which I got from you about the topic of who am I, why am I here? So that topic, it to me is like the first thing to begin with. Because if you don't define your life, you don't understand your existence, you don't know who you are, you will not be able to manage time and every other thing that will follow suit. So I see the message of purpose as the very root, the very beginning to teach anybody. So the first message I taught them was the message on purpose, and I titled it "The Need to Discover Your Purpose." And people were like, "Wow, where did you get that kind of message from?" It was so interesting. I said, "Next week you have to look for people, bring other people." So every day I go, to room by room. I greet them. I say, "My name is Gee. Please, this is what we do. Just 1 hour. Believe me, if you come once, you don't like it, don't come again. I beg you, don't come again." So like, you always challenge us to come for this your program. So anybody who comes wouldn't want to go back, because what they hear is not what they teach in school or in church or in mosque. So I had Muslims come to my room to listen. I had Christians from different background, from different belief. I had even those who say they don't even believe in Christ. They're tired of going to church. That church is all about money. They were coming to my room. I had senior colleagues. I had people. I was just in first course, but I had people in final year. University students in final year. I had fourth course students. I had third course students. I had people who were far, far older than me. But I was like a very little child who was just burning out of passion. So I started teaching them step by step on how they can discover their purpose. And to God be the glory. At some point when I teach them this thing, some of them cannot even stand. They cannot even sit down. They will be screaming in my room. Every Thursday, people used to bring their chairs from their hostels. They will be bringing their chairs because they know I have just a bed and then one chair. so that God will not be able to contain us. So before you know, we were growing, we were close, we were more than 20. We were growing so rapidly because they were hearing things they've never heard before. Muslims they will be calling me, I don't want to miss today's section, or I don't want to. They even tell me, record it, please record. Anybody know me? I created a WhatsApp group, Heroes Academy WhatsApp, Heroes Academy Skype. So anyone, if you miss, we send the audio to you, you listen. And they were so grateful. So your messages gave me a meaning, made me relevant. People now began to look up to me for advice, for teaching. What do you think I should do? How do you think I should do? I was like, God, who could have known that, I would be relevant on earth? Who could have known that, I had something, to teach somebody, if not that I learned from you. So your messages got me so strongly that I couldn't wait. I share even on the streets, funny enough. I was running mad. God.
But in the street, but they are speaking Ukrainian language now.
No, not Ukrainians. Though I've talked to Ukrainians, but some of them that speak English. I've talked to some of my professors, and there was a woman I talked to. She knelt down. She forgot that we were in class because we had a combined class from law students, international economics, and we had computer. So we had three groups.
You are studying economics.
International economics, yes. So we had three groups of students in that class. So when she finished teaching, during the break time, we were supposed to have like 2 periods. So during the break time, so she was trying to say that she has been in this teaching for 20 years of her life, and she can't really find anything she has been working for. So I just saw it as an opportunity to teach her something. So I started teaching her. I taught her purpose right there. I taught her the rule of 10,000 hours. I taught her time management, conversion. I was teaching her, I was using examples. I brought an example of Mark Zuckerberg, I brought an example of Malala, I brought an example, things I learned from you. And the woman started crying in class. This is a professor. She started crying. This is a Ukrainian professor. She started crying. Do you know what she held my hand? She said, Obi, God bless you. God bless you. She was kneeling down. I said, Madam, don't kneel down. No, don't kneel down. She said, if I had known this thing that you are telling me long ago, my life wouldn't have remained the same.
You know what the Russian people here in our church do? They just take one of my books, anyone, and start it. And that's how they start home groups. In universities, in schools, at work, in hospitals, they just take any book. Life is predictable, for example. They just take it and start a group. They take another one just take it. Every book is a different group. And some people start church just on the books.
God, your books and your messages are just...
So you started speaking to all the foreigners in the street?
Yes. So when I moved on the street, I asked, do you speak English? And it's like, little. So I just tried to say the little, I just tried to break it down, little, they will understand. Sometimes they just laugh. I know they don't really understand.
But the English speakers, the foreigners, how are they receiving it?
The foreigners, they were so amazed. You
are a new student. Normally, new students are always, more
quiet.
Yes.
But the fire that I got from your messages did not keep me quiet.
Wow.
I couldn't look at myself as a new student. I just saw opportunity to liberate people just like you have liberated me. So I just want to talk to people. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your life. You just have one life to live. I was just on fire, trying to talk to anybody I see, any student I come across, And I remember one guy told me that, I'm just a new person, that very soon that,
the fire will go.
The fire will quench. I was just laughing at him. I said, if you know who I'm listening to, the fire, as long as his own fire has not quenched, I'm still learning from him. So how will my own fire quench?
Yes.
So I said, I wish you can be humble enough to listen to this man of God I'm telling you about. He wouldn't want to listen because It's just people that are biased. They compare churches, and I said, this is not about church. I'm talking about life transforming messages that can change a Christian, a Muslim, an atheist. It's not about church. I'm not concerned about church. So, but some will listen and some wouldn't want to listen. So I taught them what they should do with their time. After we talked about the need to discover purpose, I told them what they should do with their time. And I told them 3 categories of people on earth: those who waste time, those who spend time, those who invest time. I gave them quotations, and I told them that talent will, hard work will beat talent when talent fails to work hard. I gave them quotations. I gave them stories, practical stories that, they couldn't just run away from. They don't know how to escape. They don't know how to.
Do you have a copy of your husband's book? Because your husband wrote a powerful book. Book. But at least you have it. Don't take it now. Let's see.
Okay, 1 minute.
I will wait. Yes, we'll wait for you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
The husband of Topsy Gift is Clemcy Clement. He wrote a very powerful book, and I think everybody must get that book. Is it on Amazon?
Yes, sir. It's on Amazon, and it's also on Okada book.
Okay, hold it back a little bit. Back to you.
Okay.
Yes. Your potentials, the source of your greatness.
Yes, sir.
Okay, your potentials, the source of your greatness. Why don't you get in touch with, maybe some people might want to get it in Nigeria. Maybe you could make arrangement with Shioma. Maybe we could send some to Shioma. And Shioma might be able to propose to some people in Nigeria.
Oh,
or maybe they could print it
so
in
much.
Nigeria or something.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, because I read it. It's very, very powerful.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
God bless you, sir. So that was how I kept, teaching. Apart from the teaching, I gave them targets. I told them, you have to. I don't want you to just catch the fire and let it die. Plan your life. Make sure you are doing something every day. With the topics that we've done, they were like,
How is your room coping with everybody?
I had just one roommate, so she also joined the Heroes Academy because she couldn't escape. The messages were catching everybody.
But is there enough space in your room now?
Yeah, but I don't stay in the hostel right now.
Okay.
So I left the hostel.
Good.
But during winter, what we do Skype Heroes Academy.
Good.
Since because of the cold, so we do Skype. But during summer, I go to the hostel and then I teach. I teach them there in the hostel.
Beautiful.
So apart from that, I told them you have to have products, and they started designing. One of the Heroes Academy get together we had, people were presenting their projects because I told them I don't want to just be teaching and don't be seeing results. I want to be seeing results. So one of the guys who is there who studied in computer medium, he started working on app. He said he wants to do a life-saving. He wants to save life. He designed a boot that can save people from committing suicide.
Beautiful.
So these were his projects, and we're like, wow, powerful one. And he's working on it. And even though he's a Muslim, I still encourage him to do, because what he's doing is going to save humanity. It's going to save people. So I don't care about your religion. I care about the fact that you are using your passion to save lives.
Yes.
So with time, God will eventually, get hold of you if He wants you for Himself. So I don't push them aside that, oh, you're not a Christian, so we don't roll together. We are family. We are one body.
What about people who are abroad now, and people from America, from England, from different places, Japan, Korea, Nigeria, who are watching now, and they are wondering, do you do any outreach, any heroes? What do you call it? Heroes
Academy.
Heroes Academy. Can anybody from outside of Ukraine also participate? Or how do they do that? Is that a Skype or a group or Facebook or what?
Okay, we have a page on Facebook called Heroes Academy. So so what we do is during summer we usually do live videos. We pick your messages. We teach on Facebook Live, and we have people join from different places, and we post it on our YouTube channel. So people who are on YouTube still watch afterwards, later on watch. So that's a group on Heroes Academy. We still post those messages on the page so people could watch later on. So apart from even the Heroes Academy, I got the passion of even writing books. I started putting up titles of books I want to write because I said I want to be a blessing to my generation. I don't want to die empty, just like you have always encouraged us. So I started a book titled "I Am a Woman, I Am a Human," because I just saw that
that is necessary for Africa. What a book! That will be a bomb for Africa because I'm a woman. I'm a human. Wow. I would like to promote that book myself.
Thank you, sir. So I believe the book will soon be ready because I've been on it. So I've just been so passionate. At that book, I put some of the experiences we went through as kids, and then how my father, constantly, abused my mother.
What is he saying? What is he saying now, your father?
He's even trying to ask me to send him money.
It's a parasite. Look, there is Mayo right here. Look how she's looking. Go. She has a question for him or for you. You can't believe it,
So you can imagine. I never had a father love. I never had father
relationship.
Is
totally crossed.
There was nothing like father. I never had one. I used to tell people I don't even have a father.
He exploited your mother. Now it's your turn.
Yes, it's my turn.
To be exploited.
But I don't even listen to it. At the time he even said that women don't have value. He told us that we don't have value, that we end up marrying and staying in the husband's house, so we don't have value. There's nothing about women. So we said, okay, why don't you train our brother? At least you have a man. Say men have value. He even refused to train the man. So there's never a place you hold him accountable that he will not escape. He will always find something to escape from.
Topsy, I can't believe it. Time has gone so fast. In the next 30 minutes, we are coming live now. So maybe you have to come back again. I think Julie might have to invite you for maybe, because it's like we did Kingdom Fruits today. We have to do maybe one of the books or any of the topics again. It's so interesting listening to you. In fact, I don't think there have been so many comments and so many passion of people in this my 7 o'clock program. Like with you, people are saying we should do part 2. Even people are writing part 2. We should do part 2 now. So thank you so much. Touching.
Thank you so much.
Both tragic and comedy and everything mixed together. And I want to thank God that you came, because this kind of story, they remind me of where I come from and they remind me of my future. It's my personal challenge. I don't care what the government will say, what the government is doing. It's my personal challenge. Nigeria is my personal challenge. If Nigeria doesn't change, I've not lived. But God, if God will let me to live, I bet you, I say in the next 10 years, we will see Nigeria by the grace of God. But God has to let me go when it's time from here. And when I leave here, we'll begin to work full-time for Nigeria. It's a pity that right now I cannot start, but once I begin, Nigeria and every Nigerian will feel it by the grace of God. Christian, Muslim, anyhow, something will change for the better. And people like us, you see, We have so much gift, so much. Can you imagine how people like you have been wasted? People like you have been wasted every day. I too. I was in the village where people I just I would have been wasted if not for scholarship. And many people have been wasted. Like many people are wasted. There are millions every day because they are not given opportunity. So when you come to Kiev, maybe I don't know when, anytime we are going to talk about your mother. Please remind me because I could forget. But please remind me. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much,
God
sir. God bless you.
Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much.